So Sheena slash Marvel, the leopard. Marvel being her Japanese name, but of course when they were localizing it, they're like, we can't just call a character just Marvel. Why? You want Marvel knocking at her door? Alrighty, welcome back to the Flophouse. The tier house, I should say, not because anyone's crying, but because we are doing another tier maker. And I thought, it's time for some bloody roar. Can't do the games, obviously, because sadly there's only technically 5, maybe 6, I guess. You know, if you count Bloody Roar Extreme and Bloody Roar Primal Fury and all of that. But I thought, hey, there's enough characters in there, so why don't we go through all these bloody beasts and see where they stack up. We are starting here at Please Exterminate, the lowest tier. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Then Annoying Insect, Mid Mammal, Worthy Warrior, and finally at the very tippity top, Beast God, which I'm very proud of. So without further ado, let's bare our claws and start slashing. We have first Yugo the Wolf, which is our baseline. He's the Ryu of the game. Unfortunately, I don't think he's quite there. You know, I love his beast form, the wolf. It looks funny sometimes when he's just wearing a shirt, like a t-shirt, he's still in wolf form. And of course, some of this varies per game. There's a big difference in graphics where it transitioned from the PS2, Bloody Roar 3, and then from then on out. Bloody Roar Primal Fury, Bloody Roar Extreme, and Bloody Roar 4 then adapt kind of a different art style. And if you look at model comparisons and such, they all look very different. So Yugo looks awesome in some games, specifically Bloody Roar 3 is what I'm thinking of. That being said, there's something just a little lacking with them. A problem with all these characters is that they don't really get a whole lot of play in cutscenes and stuff, so you don't really get a good sense of their personality, voice acting and everything, unless you count Bloody Roar 4 endings.
Wait, what? You can't do that!
Which I don't really want to. So I don't think I can put Yugo in Beast God. I would like to, and even though his wolf form does a lot of the heavy lifting, his fighting style is also it's just punchy-wunchy, just kind of boxing. It's not all that interesting to me. With that on the table, though, he has to be a worthy warrior. It can't be any less than that. You know, I think as a baseline, that makes sense, considering he is the game's Ryu, even though not a lot of stuff focuses or revolves around him. But I think that's a pretty good start for him. I don't think he can aspire to do more in this particular tier list. Next up, we have Alice, the rabbit. Again, another big difference between Bloody Roar 3 and the others. I think as a female character in a fighting game, she's pretty up there. I think she's another worthy warrior, absolutely. The bunnies don't make like the coolest of sounds. They're weird sounds, and they did record those and put them into her fighting style, and it's just these weird squeaks. So whenever I'm playing against or as her, I'm always like, these squeaks are just off-putting to me. I don't know. But I like her moveset. I like some of her costumes. Some of her super attacks are quite fun. I think she could use a little bit more pizzazz. She's very like Yugo in that way. But another worthy warrior overall. Next up, Gato, the lion. I think they did a really good job with this character in the sense that, like, he looks like a lion man. You know, you look at him one second, I wonder what he's going to turn into. Yeah, probably a lion. His fighting style is a little bit more impactful. It's a lot of punches, lunges, and such. I like him. I think he's a great tough guy archetype for that many fighting games see, but I think he has an absolute place. Fortunately, though, I don't think he's quite a beast god. I don't think he's mid either, so that's another worthy warrior. I think they could do even more with him. Like, it'd be cool if he had like a dark, like violent version, like an evil Ryu or an evil Gato sort of version. He did kind of have He was kind of the boss of Bloody Roar 2, if memory serves, where he was kind of evil, but they didn't really do much that much different with him in that game, in that boss state. He was just kind of going a little crazy, kind of. I'll tell you, the stories of Bloody Roar games are complete nonsense. If they're ever to do another game, just reboot it and have a story that, you know, is actually somewhat consistent. But Gato, another very worthy warrior. But I think next we can move into slightly lower territory. This is Bakuryu, the first version, where he was just this old man. And he's represented by Bloody Roar 1, I think, specifically. Yeah, I think Bloody Roar 1, he first appeared in his old man form, and then into his mole form, which I always thought was a weird pick. A mole? Oh, okay. You know, there's weirder picks, I suppose, but that was the first one in Bloody Roar. I was like, it's an odd one, right? I don't know if annoying insect or mid. I'm going to put him in annoying insect because I never really cared for him. And he gets replaced by a cooler version of him. So, I don't know. Like, okay, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna say that this is correct just because of who we have coming up next. I don't really know anyone that's like, oh yeah, the old man version of Bakuryu. Oh, that's cool. No, if you exist, raise your hands, but I don't believe you. Next up into our cage is Greg, the gorilla. He's a funny character. He's a lot funnier than any of the characters Bloody Roar has had before. We can get Greg working. Everything will make sense in the end. So yeah, he turns into a gorilla, and I think it's pretty funny. He has this sort of circus performer vibe to him. He gets this little hat, and it stays on him a little bit in his gorilla form. He has a lot of slaps, like some grabs, things like that. I'm surprised they never brought him back. Like, a gorilla just seems like, a monkey in general just seems like they would have a good fighting style to be incorporated into a martial arts game, because the monkey is a martial arts style, I've been told and seen. So I don't think he's a worthy warrior, though. I think if he got another appearance in like Bloody Roar Primal Fury or something like that, they could have really done something with him. But I think mid is you can go up or you can go down. I mean, you have potential if they had done something more with you, or you could slip down even lower, depending if, like, I don't know, you got worse and worse as time goes on. But I think Greg is kind of mid. Yeah, his design is a little silly. It's a little sillier than most of them, actually. But I still think he has more potential to go up rather than down. Next, we have Fox. The Fox. Which is they're really hard up for names there. Another Bloody Roar 1 character. I think Fox is pretty sick, actually. I played as Fox in a Bloody Roar 2 video, I think, way back when, and they had a really sick design. Now, Fox isn't really that different from a lot of the other mammalians that are in the game, like a wolf or a leopard or you know, anything like that. They're just basically another slashing animal, but they're a little bit more quick-footed, so it's a nice little in-between sort of character between the harder-hitting Gato or Alice, let's say, that's very, very fast as well. I like Fox quite a bit, actually, so I'm going to put them as another worthy warrior, because I don't think they're mid at all. But at the same time, I really would have liked to have seen if they could have done something more with the character. I think they just had more potential in a variety of different ways. Now we have Mitsuko, the boar. You know, it's like this hard-working lady type that's also a heavy hitter. A boar, you know, makes sense too. They don't have anything like a rhino. There's an elephant, but they don't have anything that really like kind of charges and like, you know, sort of attacks you with like tusks and everything. Again, the elephant character doesn't really do that. They have a very different fighting style, I should say. But Mitsuko, I think they're just kind of mid because, again, I don't think they really, expand upon this character at all in anything. Unless they're in a Bloody Roar manga I have never read. But yeah, they are unique, just like Greg, where it's like, I would have liked to have seen what else you could have done with, like, updated costume designs, movesets, etc. And again, Bloody Roar 1 characters missed out on super moves, which does a lot for a character as well. Just in their potential, fighting style, how powerful they are, etc. So I think Mitsuko the boar is another mid-mammal. Next up, though, I mean, come on. Long? The tiger! The tiger ones are kind of special. I think they're both sick. I bet at the end of the day, I think Long is still a worthy warrior, but they're very close of being a beast god. I think as a human character, I like Long a little bit more than Yugo, for example, or Alice, but there's still something that's kind of holding him back. I think he needs a little bit more edge, you could say, and I'd give it to him as being a beast god. But at the end of the day, I still really like the tiger fighting style. I think all their moves are really sick. And I think Long has that seriousness about him, but maybe a little bit too serious, maybe a little bit too stiff, where he's just missing that extra spice to put him into Beast God. But still, I think he's a very cool character. I think a lot of people agree that the tigers are some of the coolest. So worthy warrior, he shall stay. Now we have Bakuryu the second. This is the guy that's just replaces this particular old dude. And I think she's just way cooler. The design of the mole is cooler. The ninja outfit fits with the mole even better. He has super moves. They all look sick. It is kind of funny that they still went with a mole for a ninja character. I can think of many other animals that'd be cooler as a ninja, but I think mole is still, somewhat appropriate. They stay out of most people's sight most of the time. He is absolutely worthy. Very, very worthy, I think. Again, if his animal was a bit different, a little bit cooler, like a snake, a flying squirrel, perhaps. A red panda? Ooh, daddy likes. I could see him absolutely being a beast god, but as it stands, he is a worthy warrior, and yeah, I feel very comfortable about that. Yuriko, she's not it for me. I just get an annoying brat out of her. I hate that she wears a jacket that clearly doesn't fit her. I don't like any of her beast form. I don't really know what they're going with this character other than we need a really cute one, but it's like Alice is cute. I just get kind of go away heat with Yuriko. In gameplay wise, she's good, especially in like Primal Fury and everything. She's a good character, but this is more than just that. And I actually kind of place that a little bit lower in the totem pole of what I prioritize here. So Yuriko is an annoying insect. I'm not going to say please exterminate. They're not at that level, but I never really liked her, even when the games were new. And looking back on it in the past, I'm just like, no, it's just a little too silly for my tastes and everything. So I know she has fans out there. So sorry, I guess. This is my tier list, though. Yeah, make your own if you like. Busuzima. Because his human form is annoying. He's kind of a jokester, a little bit Dan Hibiki-like, but his chameleon form is so cool and so unique and so odd that kind of raises him to mid to me. It balances out. If his form was like really lame, like I don't know, he's an aardvark or something. I don't know. But if there was something a little like doesn't have any sauce to it, like a chameleon can do all this type of shit. Use his tongue, can turn invisible, etc., etc. The reptile effect. So even though a chameleon is not a mammal, I think Busuzima is. He's a mid-mammal, in fact. So again, I know he has his fans. I know like silly types are at least like a thing. There is some sauce there, but it's not quite enough to raise him to worthy warrior, especially not beast god. So sorry, Mr. Busuzima, you are a mid-reptile. Stun the insect, yo! Absolute beast god. Sick design, super sick big bad Beetleborg animal form, a really good fighting style, lots of chain throws. If you like King and Tekken, Stun is your guy. He's weird, like I still don't understand. They crossbred his animal form with his human form, so he's kind of both at the same time. It's so much cooler than Yuriko, like so much cooler. In a similar concept, but yeah, stun is up there for me. Even though pure grapplers like your Zangiefs, I'm not exactly like I don't attach them automatically. I like hybrid grapplers most of all, but Stun is absolutely a beast god to me. If a Bloody Roar game were ever to come out, a new one, and Stun was not in it, I'd be very upset. And I think he's the only insect, or one of the few insects, in fact. And they didn't even call him Stun the Beetle. They just call him Stun the Insect because they knew no one else was going to take a bug. You know, there's no bees. There's no dogs with bees in their mouths. So, Stun, Beast God, you cannot change my mind about it. Oh, but he's automatically joined with Shenlong. This is what I was talking about. He's just a cooler, eviler version of Long. But he's a purple tiger. If you saw the thumbnail on this video, you'll know what I'm talking about. I love his shredded clothes in Primal Fury. Like he bursted out of his shirt. Love that. And even though his fighting style is very, very similar to Long's, they share some moves. I just think he is the tiger concept perfected. I just love how evil he is. I love how his quotes do not sync up at all with his lip sync. In Primal Fury, it's so bad, and he says such evil stuff, and I believe he is voiced by Rob Paulson, Cyber Ninja from Metal Gear Solid 1. Hopefully the editor will correct me if I'm wrong on that. But yeah, he's another favorite. I really picked him up in Primal Fury, which is kind of my biggest education on Bloody Roars, as some of you should know by now. Like I said, he's the perfected version of Long, absolutely. I could see him not being in future Bloody Roar games. It might just be like, no, let's just keep Long. And I get that. It's a little superfluous. It is like an evil Ryu sort of situation. But yeah, I'd be okay with that. But as it stands, he is a beast god to me. So Sheena / Marvel the Leopard. Marvel being her Japanese name, but of course when they were localizing it, they're like, we can't just call a character just Marvel. Why? You want Marvel knocking at her door? No. She's absolutely please exterminate. I don't think anyone really likes her. I'm kidding! She's a beast god. Wonder if I'd actually fool any of you there for like 1 second. You're already writing angry comments. Nah, she may be my favorite character in Bloody Roar. She absolutely is, actually. I just think she's so fucking cool. And if there's any cosplay of Sheena out there, I'd really like to see it. I don't think I've ever seen it. There's very little Bloody Roar cosplay out there. But even though her leopard form is not that interesting compared to Tiger and whatever, I just think her human form just looks sick. She has a lot of throws. She is a hybrid throw character. She can do a lot of other stuff. The only thing that's kind of a knock against her is her supers. She has one that's really sick. Her second one is a counter super that almost never fools anybody. It's really hard to hit. And she has a third hidden super that's incredibly obtuse to do. You almost never see it in anything. And that's kind of sad. So she has just basically one super to me, and the other two are kind of a wash. So that's the only real knock against her. But I just think she's fucking sick, drives motorcycles, has a cool leather jacket, and look at her. She's just so awesome. So an absolute beast god. And, you know, I'm thinking that might be our last beast god, but we'll see. There might be somebody else that pops up here. Jenny, the Bat. Bat, absolute cool character to have in there. I don't think she quite fits with the Bat. Like her human version is just, you know, kind of looks like, I don't know, D. Williams or something. You know, any sort of like random pretty character in a fighting game. Like maybe she's a bit more goth, you know, that would make more sense. Like it would just fit the character better. Her bat form is okay. I think they could have gone even grosser with it, like give her a big gross like vampire bat nose or something like that. But she just basically like Rouge the Bat, you know, which I guess some people really like, but not a mid mammal. I think she's a worthy warrior. Yeah, she started in, I believe, Bloody Roar 2. I believe Bloody Roar 2, and then has been in the series ever since then. So, you know, obviously she's quite popular in that sense. But I still think like there's a mismatch a little bit between her human form and her animal form, but that's basically it. Worthy warrior she is. Next up, if you can really see, is the best image I could kind of get. This is Fang, not Fong. Fang. This is essentially the evil version of Yugo. Damn me if you could really tell the difference. I don't know really their origin. They're basically a bonus character. And while I like the concept, it's like it's still far and away not even close to what Shenlong is to Long. I like them to have gone even harder with this. Like, I think they just could have made an actual different looking guy to Yugo. He's slightly different, kind of mid to me. Like, if they did a more evil version, like an evil Ryu or Akuma, or again, like Shenlong, we could have had something going, but it just seems kind of a wasted slot, in all honesty. So I don't really have much to say about Fang other than that. But if there's something I'm missing, like he's got cool lore or some shit, or if he has some actually wild differences, whenever I've selected him, there's not much going on that I can see that's very interesting. But I'd like to be corrected. So if anyone knows anything cool about Fang, write a comment, a very nice comment below. And I'd like to see any information I've missed about Mr. Fang here. But for now, made a mammal. Zion, the unborn. Whatever the fuck that means, I don't know. He's from the Guyver, I guess. Zion is an in-betweener right here. His human form is just such a Timu DMC Dante, but his animal whatever, I didn't even call it an animal form, it's so cool. His moveset's great, but there's just something about his human form that's like, man, this is clearly inspired by like 3 or 4 other characters, so he's not all that unique in that way. But this is gonna be tough, actually. I'm gonna leave him in Worthy Warrior for now. I want to put him higher, I do, but there's just something holding him back a little bit. I don't know what it is. Like I wish he was more evil or something. He's not evil enough. He needs to be evil, like Shenlong over here. Yeah, not quite up there. Again, I like his weird unborn form. I enjoy playing as him. But yeah, his costumes don't really hit it for me. It's been a while since I've booted up Bloody Roar 4. I don't know if I can't remember if he's had any unlockable costumes, because it's mostly just, different color palettes and stuff. So I don't really get a lot from Zion and his human form. Like just, hey, we like Devil May Cry, and that's kind of it. So Worthy Warrior he is. You know who's less worthy? Nagi, the Spurious, or as I like to call her, Lobster Girl. So for whatever reason, Hudson, under Konami at this time, decided, hey, we need a brand new character and the game needs to revolve around her. It's going to be this chick that turns into a half lobster crustacean thing. And this is when I was like, you know how many animals there are in the world that you have not touched upon, Hudson? Why are we doing this? Why are we making weird, like, hybrids already? You already have 2, 3, technically. Between Stun, Yuriko, and Zion, and you're doing this? I don't know. It's very much a, hey, here's our new Shadow the Hedgehog type thing, and it just doesn't land at all. I think the character is kind of annoying, actually, so annoying insect. Not even mid. I could see potential for her to go up a tier. If she ever would be brought back, I doubt that. If there's any cool lore or anything else that makes this character anything, let me know, because I don't think there is. But yeah, annoying insect. And next, as you can see, we are delving firmly into Bloody Roar 4 territory, and I'm sorry for that. This is Reiji, the Crow, another flying character. Again, his human form is very, you hit create me a random character and beat down fists for vengeance. He's just a dude with white spiky hair and a bunch of tribal tats, and that's kind of it. Human design has never really been Bloody Roar's forte. They've been okay, there's not anything terrible, but there's not anything amazing. Therefore, Reiji is a mid-mammal. Now he's an avian, so mid-avian he is. I think the Raven form does look kind of cool, but because he flies as well, he doesn't really do anything super different or super unique compared to like Jenny the Bat. So I think, mostly all of the Bloody Roar 4 characters are going to be, not too high up. Oh, I do have a little mix up here. We have Ganesha, who is a bonus character that was introduced in Primal Fury. Not a bonus character, but I don't really know. He was kind of like, not the boss, but he was like a mid-boss. Anyway, I think this is one of the better characters introduced in the later half of the games. Not mid, I'm going to say he's a worthy warrior. I loved his elephant form. I loved all of his big throws. Another grapple character. And I think his human design is actually one of the better ones. A very ornate. He has all his jewelry and stuff. He looks like he's kind of a warrior monk. I like him. I used to play as him quite a bit in Primal Fury. So he's absolutely another worthy warrior added to its already very bustling tier. And as we're winding down a little bit, we have, that looks like Yoshimitsu from Tekken. Yoshimitsu first appeared in Tekken 1 in 1994. No. So yeah, this is Koryu. This is them kind of bringing back the old man character, but now he's been turned into a cyborg. So they kind of Metal Gear Solid 4 Raiden'd him, I guess. I'm not sure if that's it, but he does turn into the Iron Mole, which is a mecha mole. That's way cooler than his original version, and because he's a mecha mole, that gives him some differences compared to young ninja Bakuryu. So he shoots missiles and stuff, so that's pretty cool. I don't think quite worthy warrior cool. I think that's more of a mid-mammal, but that's certainly a step up from being an annoying insect, isn't it? I do appreciate that they try to do more with them. That's what I've been saying with a lot of these mid-mammal characters, right? That if you give them another shot later on, even if you reuse some animations and things, you can just do another design, and that might give the character a brand new coat of paint, might make them, more approachable, more likable, all that stuff. So, good on them for giving them a little improvement. Not quite enough to get up to Worthy Warrior, but I think any improvement is improvement. This is Ryoho. This is the new tandem boss. I guess I could just put them together. And this is Nana, I think. This pair together might be like the worst new boss in history. Bloody Roar is always exchange bosses. Sometimes they'll have this one, sometimes they'll have that one, sometimes they'll go back, etc., etc. It never really has a key villain, but Ryoho and Nana are the worst. You've never seen Bloody Roar 4, and I envy you. Basically, he's this big warrior monk guy, and he turns into a dragon, I believe, if she powers him up, whatever. She's a little nine-tailed fox, like she turns into like the animal, not like a hybrid or anything. And they power up or whatever, and he turns into a dragon. The problem is that fighting the dragon is the worst shit ever. It's super hard to beat, and if you don't beat him, the game's over. You're only gonna get one fucking shot. In a console game, that's ridiculous. They're both really annoying. He's not cool. She's not cool. They're both very not cool together. Their uncoolness combined brings them down to please exterminate. An absolute mistake. You cannot convince me otherwise. Oh, but Matt, I did find some cool lore about these characters. Don't care about it this time. You can't make me care about it this time. Absolutely. Please exterminate. I don't know who created these characters, like what specific designer created with the characters. I hope they stub their toe. I really do. I hope they get stung by a bee. That's all I'm going to say about that. Now we have Kronos, who was positioned as, I believe, the final end boss of Primal Fury and Extreme. This is a character of extremes, certainly. He has a unique human design. It's kind of weird. He looks like he comes out straight out of the King of Fighters Maximum Impact series. So he's kind of wearing this yellow banana coat, and he's a little silly looking, but not too bad. His first beast form, though, if you've never seen it, he turns into a penguin. Not a penguin man, not like a sexy buff penguin man that you're all thinking in your heads. No! He turns into a literal penguin that's like 1 foot tall and wearing like a little yellow vest. It is so ridiculous. I don't know what they're thinking, but goddamn, I love it. It's funny supers. He's such a weird boss. I could end right there. But they thought, no, maybe that is a little too silly. So if he powers up into his ultra form, that little penguin that nobody liked turned up to be a giant phoenix man. And that form is sick. He starts to look like a boss from a character action game, from a Bayonetta game, you know? So that absolutely moves him up to Worthy Warrior. not quite a beast god. I don't even know how you would do this. I think if you sort of like rejiggered the sort of sequence of events with how his forms work, or worked on his human design a little bit more, I think I could make him a beast god. If he was evil again, because he's just kind of not, he's just kind of a guy, and again, it's because Bloody Roar gives you so little to work with. But a worthy warrior to me. I have very fond memories of always trying to beat him in Bloody Roar Primal Fury to try to unlock all this stuff, because he was usually the final boss, I believe. So he is pretty cool. There is one boss left, as we can see, and that is Uranus. Uranus is pretty sick, I do have to say. She turns into a chimera, a weird sort of Resident Evil chimera bioweapon, where she's like this gigantic bull creature with all these horns and stuff, and she just basically goes nuts on you. She does have one of the better human forms in the game. She's floating. She looks like a biological experiment, you know, like, again, like a Resident Evil sort of like end boss character or whatever that turns into their fucked up T-virus form towards the end. So I like that. It's the closest, I think, that Bloody Roar's gone to actually having a cool final boss. She gives you a little bit something. Plus, she looks like Ivy Valentine. Never a bad thing. Beast God? Yeah, I think a beast god, actually. If there's anyone that's going to be a beast god, it's the one that literally turns into a beast god. You know, their form is so sick, and they are kind of, you know, a pretty hard challenge to actually fight when you get towards the end of the later games. It really sucks that she got replaced or whatever by these two dimwits. You know, I'm not even gonna use their names anymore. I think that's it. Unless there's a character I'm missing, I think that's all the playable ones or unplayable ones. I think that might be our last roar in this particular tier maker video. I really wish there were more characters I could do with this particular game, but there is not. For whatever reason, Konami is still sitting, you know, in an era where fighting games are coming out all the time, and all the old classics are basically out there. There's new Tekkens, new Street Fighters, new Mortal Kombats, new Fatal Furies and stuff, and there's gonna be Art of Fighting and Samurai Showdowns and stuff, and just like Konami's just sitting on this franchise, not doing anything with it. Maybe one day. Maybe I'll put this out and I'll have like the Guile win quote effect. And then, like, you know, 2-3 weeks later, maybe 2-3 months later, Konami actually announces that they're doing something with Bloody Roar, aka Beasterizer, Hyper Beast Duel. But let me know. Give me your hate mail in the comments below. What do you think about my Bloody Roar tier list? I'll be sure to ignore them. And until then, I will see you next time in the Flophouse.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.